I grew up in a trailer, kind of like Cal's trailer. I had a mom, a little bit like Cal's mom, traumatized teenage single mother. I was kind of a weird loner kid, watched a lot of Westerns. I was just drawn to this little, violent scenario that had some autobiographical juice to it. And then I just kind of then the rest of the story kind of emerged with me trying to make a bigger story in which that kind of made sense. And so that was really kind of the seed. And then I just kind of started populating this world with other characters, some drawn from my life, some inspired by Western archetypes that I was wanting to update. And then it just kind of took on a life of its own. I grew up in rural Washington State, kind of at the base of Mount Rainier, an abandoned mining town, and about a couple hundred people, and very close to the Muckleshoot Indian Reservation. So I think that border space, that's kind of evocative of old Westerns, but it's in the modern world. It's just something I'm drawn to. I worked on a TV show called Lone Miner for 5 seasons that's kind of set in a similar environment, and then I returned to it here, and yeah, I just find that implicit culture clash there, and then just the mythology of the West and the history of the West in the modern world. There's just a lot there to mine, and so that's definitely something I drew upon. It's in essence a priceless Native American artifact called a ghost shirt has fallen onto the black market, and when it's stolen, it creates a chain reaction where like a dozen different people are now all in pursuit of this priceless artifact, and they all kind of converge into a kind of a showdown over who's going to get ownership of it. I describe it as a country crime film that turns into a weird Western. None of these characters are quite 100% at home where they are, and they're trying to locate their proper role in this in this version of the West that in some ways resembles the mythic cultural West and the historical West, but now is very different now. And so that's probably the commonality between all these characters. I mean, overall, in terms of the cast, I think that's the best thing about the movie is the cast and the performances as these characters. So if you're gonna, take the time to watch the movie, I think that's the big appeal. Like Sydney Sweeney in a new role, or see Halsey carry a pretty substantial role in this movie, or Paul Walter Hauser in a way you haven't quite seen him. I wanted to make a movie from blue collar America where the primary audience is kind of like working people of any stripe. Like the ideal audience for me is someone who just got off their shift, either goes to the movie theater or comes home, opens up a beer. Like I've heard this movie is kind of entertaining, strange, and puts it on, and it has characters that you could see in small town America. It doesn't look down on blue collar small town life. It's just an entertaining kind of wild story told in that world. I think people can expect kind of an old school movie. Like it's got a really cool cast. You don't really know what's going to happen next. It's hopefully a whole bunch of characters that you're intrigued by, that you care about, that you have feelings for, that are entertaining. It's a movie where you can really cheer for unexpected outcomes, and you can kind of also I think it evokes emotions. It's funny in a weird way, and yeah, it's just like an old school movie, but with some fresh twists on it.
I would say Americana is a neo-Western crime thriller about a young boy who believes himself to be the reincarnation of Sitting Bull. And between him and a cast of local characters around him, everyone is after this really prestigious Native American artifact, a Lakota ghost shirt. And the movie is an unfolding of all of those parties trying to get the ghost shirt. What's really fun about casting a movie like this is there were so many roles. Because of Tony's writing, each of the roles was character-driven and really specific. I think we were the first movie to cast Sydney Sweeney after White Lotus. we both saw the show, and I called Tony and I said, you got to watch the show. I think this is our Penny Joe. Paul Walter Hauser is someone that I had been dying to work with for literally years. I don't think he is who you would have expected to see on the page. I really love unexpected casting choices. Somebody that you wouldn't believe to be in the world, or you wouldn't believe to be in this set of circumstances. And so after that, we did a search for Cal, for the boy, and it was amazing that we found Gavin, pure stroke of luck. And then the rest of the cast, Simon Rex I had worked with on Red Rocket, and then again, similarly, Eric Dane and Toby Huss, these were all sort of actors that Tony and I, even Harriet Sansom Harris, we had seen her in that one scene in Licorice Pizza, and we're like, we have to have her to play Sydney's mom. It was sort of a compilation of people that we had seen and remembered really sort of specifically from other work and agreed on wanting to put in the movie. The movie takes place in North Dakota, and we shot it in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But it was really important for Tony for it to feel like it was taking place in the middle of the country somewhere. And I think he achieved that. And he really wanted to make something that audiences outside of just New York and LA could really see themselves in. The tagline of the movie now is like, welcome to the New West. And so I think there is sort of a bit of a cultural capitalist commentary that is an undertone of the film. Frankly, how we've robbed the indigenous of what was theirs. But I think at the core, the movie really is about people and connections and the importance of those connections. What I really hope people will take from Americana is, well, I hope they just have a good time. It is a fun ride, and I think that is in short supply for movies, especially in theaters nowadays. The emotional connections of the movie are really profound, and I think people will be reminded of the importance of real family and community, and how incredible it is to make a connection with a stranger, but at the same time, I think they're going to laugh, and I think they're going to have a lot of fun and sort of be gripping their seats at certain points. And for me, that ride, I'm excited for people to enjoy it.